Hey everybody, it's Pastor Bo Wagner. How are you doing? We get a little bit of an apology. I obviously have not read any in Zach Blue and the Great Space Chase Falcon Wing this week. It has been a crazy week. I preached Monday and Tuesday down in Greenwood, South Carolina for Brother Kevin Hembry and the great folks at the Greenwood County Baptist Camp Meeting. And then Wednesday night up in Asheboro, North Carolina at Farmer Baptist for Daniel Delaney and his sweet folks. And then Friday night closed out the Jubilee, the Fundamental Baptist Missions Jubilee in Bessemer City. And then I've been repairing the church parking lot during the day. So it's been kind of crazy, but I want to go ahead and get back to it. We read in chapter 8 tonight, Zach Blue and the Great Space Chase, Falcon Wing, because part 3 of this series is done. We're just waiting for the cover now and for the edits of it. So within about 2 or 3 weeks, we should have that one up and running. So again, part 1 is Zach Blue and the Great Space Chase Falcon Wing. Part 2 is Enter the Maelstrom. Part 3 will be called Lines of Life. So because it's been so long since I've gotten one of these out, I wanted to go back and read these first two to you to catch you up. So we're on chapter 8. Time passes slowly on a small ship in outer space. Try to imagine 2 months of riding in a vehicle down country roads without passing any towns and without stopping. That will give you some sense of the boredom that Zach and Darragon were feeling. They had already rested so much that the very thought of any more rest made them tired. They played hundreds of games of Caliball, which provided them ample opportunity to argue and fuss and fight. They took careful notes of each and every heavenly body that they passed near. That part of their time would doubtless prove valuable to them at some point in their fugitive wanderings. Whoever knew the most about the terrain had a distinct advantage. The good part about the 2 months heading toward Velaronas 4 is that they were incredibly successful in throwing off pursuit. They were, at the moment, 15 minutes from their intended stop and completely lost to all of Planetary Command. They had no way of knowing that, of course, but Zach had a pretty good hunch. I believe we can breathe pretty easy for now, D. There's not been a hint or a whiff of any pursuit, nor has there been any activity ahead of us indicating that anyone knows we're headed this way. Planetary Command may be big and powerful, but every resource they have is still tiny compared to the universe they have to search. Let's hope Velaronas 4 is a tropical vacation paradise. If it is, we may just settle down forever. Darragon warbled his approval of that concept. Maybe there would be some palm trees. Ever since arriving on Earth as a tiny Tark, he loved fresh coconut juice. It tasted good, and it gave his orange skin a silky appearance. Who knows? Maybe there would even be a future Miss Darragon on this new world to comment on how nice his skin looked as he drank that coconut juice. Captain Blue, First Officer Darragon, please help me. Come quickly. It may be too late otherwise. Zach and Darragon both literally jumped out of their chairs as if they'd been shocked by a cattle prod. The voice was coming across the ship's comm and was steady yet urgent. It was also lovely, incredibly, musically, melodiously lovely. And for some reason, whether it was the sheer loveliness of the voice or the fact that it had broken up 2 months of semi-silent boredom, both of our intrepid fugitive missed what should have been a glaring neon sign kind of fact. The voice had addressed them both by name. Oh, and also the fact that without assistance of the universal translator, both of them heard the voice in their own language. Zach quickly snatched up the handpiece for the comm device. It was honestly not necessary for him to do so. He could have just spoken and the ship would have heard it and communicated it just as well. But somehow Zach always felt more comfortable actually speaking into it while holding it, a lot like the ancients would have done with their now antiquated smartphones. Velaronas 4, this is Captain Zach Blue of the Falcon Wing. Who are you? Where are you? And what's your emergency? This is Andromeda Telecraft, daughter of King Telecraft, ruler of this world. I'm in the mountains at the headwaters of the Minyani River. My position is secure at the moment, but surrounded. Please come to heading 66457 by 38421. There's room for you to land and a pathway between 2 peaks that will get you to my location safely. Hurry, Captain Blue. I don't know how long... And the communication stopped. Andromeda? Come in, Andromeda. Come in, Andromeda. Lina Gisaje Epi? I don't know, D, but we need to get there, and fast. She sounds like she's really in trouble. Zach launched himself into the captain's chair, grasped the controls, and urged Falcon Wing forward. And at no point did it occur to him that he, a wanted fugitive, was rushing into an unknown danger that could very well blow his cover and result in him being carried back to Earth in shackles. Andromeda Telecraft was not really Andromeda Telecraft, nor was she the daughter of a king. But she did need help, and she smiled as she saw the Falcon Wing coming. Zach Blue had wasted no time in rushing to the location she'd provided for him. The ship made a graceful arc through the lower atmosphere, parting the purple clouds majestically. A few seconds later, and she was down, her landing thrusters winding to a stop. In the cockpit, Zach and Darragon were anxious. Someone needed help, but they knew that they did not know what dangers awaited them out on the surface. Sensors indicate perfectly breathable atmosphere, D. Let's go down to the armory and suit up. If there's an attack on Andromeda's position, on Andromeda's way and ours, I want to be ready. Daragon nodded, and together they made their way down to the lower level, into the armory, and were quickly preparing themselves for whatever they might face. Once they were satisfied by their energy armor and their choice of weaponry, they made for the ship's gangplank, and Zack barked one final order as they disembarked. Falcon Wing, once we're out, go to full cloak and shields and hover at 30 feet. I don't want anyone to see you or touch you. Do not respond to anything or anyone other than Daragon or me. Yes, sir, Captain, Falcon Wing responded. Her voice was smooth and businesslike, and Zack knew that she would do exactly as he had instructed. He had spent a good bit of the time, over 2 months of travel, programming her to recognize him as her captain and become a virtual extension of himself. If he were going to survive out here in the wild universe, he would have to be able to trust his ship, and she would have to be able to trust him. That's Chapter 8 of Zack Blue and the Great Space Chase, Falcon Wing. That is Part 1 of the series. Part 3 is almost ready. God bless y'all. Have a great day.